Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Saurabh Pol. Welcome to Pol Ke Bol. It is Saturday morning. I just came back from the temple because these are trying times. These are crazy times. Last night, while I was live streaming, I saw the last few seconds. I actually saw something which seismic that happened. Basically, there was like a heated debate between Donald Trump and Vladimir Zelensky, who is the president of Ukraine, right? He was on his visit to the White House, to the US, to meet Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, and it was supposed to be there for to sign the minerals deal, which has been talked about so much. He wanted some security guarantees from the US and Europe in general. But the thing is, he went over there and the deal was there to be signed, and something happened. Okay. And I want you to see, what exactly happened over there. I don't know if you can, okay, let me just play this video. Let's see if you can hear it.
Start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know that.
bless. You
Don't-
will not have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're
doing. I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I was about
You
to
don't
say
have the
that.
cards right now. With us, you start having
Not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What you're-
III.
what you're
You're
speaking
gambling
about?
with
What you're
World
speaking
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country,
I'm
that's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of
you're
America
speaking about.
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Yeah, this is something which happened, and it's crazy that this has happened. It's very unfortunate that this has happened. I personally feel we need peace um, in Ukraine. We need peace in the Middle East because there are bigger things, right? There are bigger things. We, as a species, we are trying to deal with AI. As a species, we are trying to become interplanetary. We are saying, hey, we'll go to Mars and all of that. So we need to be united as human beings. I'm talking on the species level, and I'm not talking from a bleeding heart perspective, but I'm literally talking from a perspective that, hey, um, humanity has its own challenges. We need to unite for literally that reason, right? So if you saw that argument which happened, right, it is very unfortunate that it happened. Usually what is crazy about it is that usually we don't get to see this, right? I was reading comments where many people were like, hey, this is the first time ever I'm seeing two politicians talk the way they talk, and not just two politicians, not just any politician, to world leaders, people who have millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, who they are responsible for, how they talk, how they deal, how they work with each other, and live out in the open. What I showed you was just like 1.5 minutes out of like a 54-minute conversation, right? It was like a joint press conference that was happening, not a press conference, but it was a meeting in the Oval Office. Zelensky was even asked by one of the reporters that why aren't you wearing a suit, and he's like, it's because I'll wear a costume after the war is ended, right? So he has his own way of going about it. Everyone else is like, like you should have worn a suit, like you wear, you're in a place which is very important, you're in the Oval Office. And that was like something which it started off a little weird, right? But for the first 40-45 minutes there was nothing. The last 9 to 10 minutes were horrible to watch because मुझे थोड़ा अजीब लग रहा था वो देखने में कि क्या हो रहा है, तो चिल्ला रहे, it's like when you watch your parents fight. It's like that, like, it just, no one's recording it, at least thankfully, but in this case it was out for the entire world to see. Now lots of reactions about this. let me give you poll ke ball on this, right? Um, no one's winning over here. No one's winning out of this. This is like extremely, unfortunate. It's like two friends arguing with each other in a cafe or at a chai tapri. It felt like that, and I was like, "Ki, bro, ye log kya kar rahe?" Like, in the age of AI, you never know what's true, what's not. But I was like, dude, what is happening? Why is this out in the open? But then I realized, good, the people should know what exactly is being discussed and how things are decided. I don't think we even get to see 0.01% of these things, right? But now we can actually see it, which is pretty crazy. And the thing is, see, everyone needs to have strategic objectives, right? All these countries have their strategic objectives. They don't meet each other flying from one continent to another just to have chai, okay? They do that to win something for themselves and for their people. Now, Zelensky came to the US with the intention of signing the mineral deal, which kind of ensured that their country will be safeguarded after the peace is achieved, in whatever form the peace is achieved. And right now, the mineral deal has not been signed. Um, Donald Trump has put out a statement saying, President Trump has put out a statement saying that Zelensky is not ready for peace. He can come back when he's ready for peace. And the peace will only be achieved in different circumstances now. Lindsey Graham is one of the biggest supporters of Ukraine. He's a very influential senator in the US. And he said that Zelensky must step down. And this is not something it should have happened. जितना कम ड्रामा उतनी अच्छी मीटिंग याद रखना and this is the opposite of that, right? There's been so much drama over here. There was no need for it. uh, President Trump does a lot of things thinking about his own base, the people who voted him into power, the American people, right? And they are like, boss, let's get out of every place. We don't want to keep, putting our money here and there. Let's focus domestically. Let's, kind of, ensure we just stay where we are. Like, let's fix our own things, right? Uh, and he's following that. He's following the mandate he was elected for, let's be frank. And he gets out of the meeting, you know, in a way where if you look at his European allies, they put out after the meeting tweet after tweet after tweet. Even Luxembourg ka prime minister is putting out a tweet ki we support Ukraine. Now, what does that support amount up to? We will have to see, because it is a big thing for them, right? The war is happening on their continent, so it is obviously they will be supercharged about this. I don't think Zelensky should have done, what he did clearly. Jitna kam drama, utna acha. Even if these conversations would happen, they should have happened behind the camera, right? But clearly, this is not worked out. For Donald Trump also, he probably wanted to get this deal done very quickly because one of his campaign promises was, "Hey, we are going to solve the Ukraine-Russia issue very quickly." But clearly, it's not as simple. Lots of drama, unnecessary. I feel it's very unfortunate, right? See, one of the things which Zelensky said, which really shouldn't have been said, is that he said, "Hey, right now there's an ocean between you. You're not feeling it. You have a great ocean. One day, you are gonna feel it." So, you know what he was trying to say, right? He's like, the US thinks they are aware that this is a regional war that they don't need to be concerned about, but Zelensky is literally out there saying, "Oh, this will come up to you," right? And that is not something you say in the Oval Office, man. Like, come on, is that how you're going to negotiate? Majority, the one nation which has contributed to the most, not the region or a confederation, right? The one nation which has contributed the most to Ukraine's security till now has been the United States. And the way this has happened, when you go and talk to people who are so important for your cause, that's not how you talk to them. I personally feel, at least not in front of the cameras. It was crazy. It was insane. And growing up, we were told that this is how elders are, and elders behave very nicely, and we all have to be mature and all of that. Turns out things are changing, and I welcome this refreshing attitude of honesty and transparency. Like someone in the comments, like Paresh, saying good morning, Paresh. He's saying, "I have never seen two world leaders fighting verbally like this openly, that too in America. Wow, just historic and unprecedented." एग्जैक्टली राइट, मेरे को लगता था यार इंडिया में ही अपना मतलब कोई ना कोई ऐसा कभी वीडियो आया दो पॉलिटिशियंस का एक दूसरे पे चिल्लाते हुए, जस्ट लाइक दैट, it would be, honestly something which I would expect in our country, because अपने country में कुछ ना कुछ होता रहता है entertaining. But on the world stage, right, this didn't even happen just in America, right? It happened on the world stage. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy that this has happened. And I was just like, wow, this is pretty crazy. And I don't know, as I said last night, uh, I mean, we need peace, man. Like, people are suffering over there. If you see the statistics, Lakhs of people are suffering, not just army people, even your civilians are suffering over there. Okay, so this is not great. By the way, civilians suffer more in modern warfare than soldiers, right? So which has been true since World War II. It's always been true, but now after World War II, it's been even truer. So we have to think about it. We have to think about it. About from this angle too. And if you and but here's the thing, right? I am in favor of politicians arguing with each other rather than young men killing each other. Okay, any day this kind of a argument is better. I'm fine with it. We argue with our partners, yeah. We argue with our friends. We argue with our bosses. We argue with our colleagues. We argue with so much, right? We are Indians. We are argumentative. I love arguing. Everyone loves arguing in India. So it's a good thing that these things are happening in talks rather than just in a military fashion. So that is another angle we need to think of, right? Second is, if you look at Europe, right now they are like, oh my god, like the alarm bell started ringing 2 weeks ago when JD Vance spoke at the Munich conference. But now they are like, okay, we really, really need to ensure that we have our own defense plan and defense spending needs to increase. Now, once that happens, what about the other programs that the European countries run, right? Their welfare programs, their other, expensive but great things that they do, frankly, the healthcare and all that they provide. They and also the economic model will have to be geared towards generating more money, because you can't just take money from here to here, right? It can't be just prioritization. They'll have to get more money, so they will have to be they'll have to sign better deals with other regions in the world, which I think anyway, India and Europe, EU are going to sign a FTA, which is a free trade agreement, pretty soon. In fact, the commissioner of the EU had come to visit Prime Minister Modi, even met her, Ursula something. I'm sorry, I don't remember her last name, but her first name is Ursula. So she came just recently, right? So India will be getting a trade deal with them. And what this shows is, okay, Europe has this thing. Russia is probably looking at this exchange and like, wow. While they must be like, okay, there's a rift on the other side, but they'll be like, even they want to end the war pretty soon, right? Don't forget that even they want to end the war. That's what they have been saying, right? If you listen to them, at least that's what they have been saying. If you also want to end the war, but on our own terms. So that's how they are going to look at it. If you're going to look at someone like China, they have been very quiet this entire while. They're like, हमको कुछ करने का है नहीं, तुम लोग करो जो करने का है, which is pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy for them also. They are looking at this like, wow, like the Trump administration is very serious about exiting from different theaters and focusing on the Pacific and the Indian Ocean, right? So they are looking at it like with a lot of interest, clearly, I'm sure. And but if you look at India, right? I saw a tweet today which I retweeted, which was like, if you think about it, Narendra Modi's, Prime Minister Modi's diplomacy is so underrated. हलवा है क्या? आज हमको दिख गया कि डिप्लोमेसी हलवा नहीं है. If you take the wrong decisions, things can go out of hand very quickly, very quickly. So, which is exactly what has happened. And I think a slightly polite tone, from Zelensky would have worked. Is he right in defending his country? Absolutely, yaar. वो बंदा उसके देश पे, मतलब he's in that situation, he's doing what he's supposed to do, but the way you go about it, was he strategically correct in doing it? I don't think so. I don't think it was strategically correct, the way, the tone he took, and he's telling the US president while sitting in the White House in the Oval Office and like, oh, you have an ocean, you're not feeling it, you'll feel it. Is that how you talk to people who you need help from? That's insane. That's absolutely insane, right? So yeah, Rohini is saying, I don't understand why every country's president visit America after American president is sworn in. Why will they not? America is the strongest country in the whole world. Everyone's dependent on them. They are the leader of the free world in their own words, right? Why will they not visit? America is one of the strongest trading partners of most countries, by the way. And of course, defense wise, everyone's more or less dependent on the US, especially the Europeans. And now you can see how important it is, the role of America, because now everyone else is panicking, like, wow, so that is why they go and visit Rohini. Eric Joseph, I feel sorry for Zelensky. He's literally helpless and has no choice in a war he didn't start. Ukraine is stuck between two big powers. What's the future like for Ukraine? Very, very simple. Ukraine has to cut a deal. They have to be realistic. They have to cut a deal because innocent lives have been lost. That country needs to be rebuilt, by the way. There are parts of Ukraine, like cities, entire cities have been leveled. So I'm just saying that, there needs to be, I would say, economic rebuilding needs to happen of that area. It will take another 5 years, 7 years, who knows how long. So that also needs to be in the future, because innocent lives are, at stake, I personally feel, and they don't deserve it, right? Leaders should be solving this with diplomacy. The future for Ukraine is like, okay, let's get some security guarantees, but we need to stop this, whatever's happening right now, because yeah, it's not working out. Rohini is like, don't you think peace deal towards sided towards Russia? Russia's concern is valid, but Ukraine is getting a raw deal. Yeah, yeah. See, there is no winner in this, right? There is no winner in this. Even Russia has lost lakhs of people. The Americans are losing their tag in a way, as per the Europeans, of the leader of NATO, right? Um, so that's the thing. What? Rahul Kumar, saving in your 20s video got deleted. Why? Bye. No, it did not go to my live. It's still there. Okay, I'm distracted. Sorry. So yeah, Ukraine. Yeah, it is getting a raw deal. But a peace deal, a deal is better than no deal. Rohini, a peace deal is better than no deal. What are their options? You have to be realistic, right? Which is what Trump said. You don't have the cards. You don't have the cards right now. You don't have the cards to make moves and demands like that. Remember, this, like every quote, it's such a quotable interaction, right? And Zelensky is like, I'm not playing cards. And Trump is like, no, you are. You are playing cards. You don't realize it, but you are playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of your people. With millions of people, you're teetering with World War III. Exact words, right? By Trump. And I was like, oh my God. Like, bhai, ye to serious ho gaya. But it's true, right? Like, the stakes are really high. A peace deal is better than no deal, right? Like, let's keep it that way. And yeah, it's going to be tough, but a peace deal is better than any other deal. So that is what it is. The minerals deal was a step towards it, but even that has been pushed. And every day that deal gets pushed, more innocent people are going to lose, right? So yeah, that's what I think. And I think humanity should have no wars, and I think we should focus on going to Mars and focus on dealing with AI and all of that. But I guess I am just a idealist, right? Utopia मेरे दिमाग में है, मैं कुछ भी बके जा रहा हूँ. So that is what it is. Eric Joseph is like, exactly, the peace deal is better inclined towards Russia, probably. Rohini is like, this shows that we have to be self-reliant in defense no matter what. Absolutely. See, no one can fight a war alone. Okay, everyone needs allies. Let's be frank. Even the biggest wars in the whole world, they were all fought with allies. World War One was allies versus Axis. World War Two was also like that. It was, no, not allies versus Axis, was World War Two. World War One also had like certain powers on one side and certain empires on one side. It was the war of empires, right? World War One, and so everyone needs allies, but you need to be self-dependent, Atmanirbhar, as we like to call it in India. Diplomacy is extremely underrated. I'm so proud of our leaders, and both from the Congress and the BJP, by the way, because independent India has been majorly, if you look at the time period, right, 60, 65 years have been ruled by the Congress, right? The rest of it has been ruled by the BJP, right? So like, yeah, or BJP allied, right? Like the other party, Jansangh and all of that. My point is ki, everyone has had like a consistent, diplomatic policy. We have made mistakes, no doubt about it. I've always said we should have, moved on towards the Americans very soon rather than waiting till 1991. But it is what it is, right? But right now, I think diplomacy, it shows how important diplomacy is. It shows how difficult diplomacy is. And I think India is doing a fantastic job. And I'm so proud of the fact that we are not in any wars. And we are just, focusing on ourselves, as we should, right? As we should. I don't know if you guys saw this, but our Air Marshal, the head of the Indian Air Force, he's saying we need we need more fighter jets. We need 40 new fighter jets every year. We need private players to come up with production of airplanes. Even Indian domestic private players, right, to help them build planes, because he was recently in the news talking about the HAL, right, saying that it's not the defense production, the output is not that great. We need more fighter jets. We are waiting for more Tejas planes and all of that. This is all public, right? Which is crazy, right? Usually ये सारी बातें पीठ पीछे होती है. But I think we are in this day and age where more and more things are public in nature, right? And yes, India needs to be self-reliant while also maintaining good relations with anyone and everyone possible, right? But the moment things go here and there, you realize you're on your own, right? So prepare for the worst, right? Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So that is what I would say. India has been doing successfully. I just think our manufacturing issues really need to be sorted out, like especially in defense and all. So yeah, that is what it is. It's extremely scary whatever is happening right now, because you can see if diplomacy fails, it's pretty crazy, right? If diplomacy fails, it's pretty crazy. Let me see some other new things that are happening. Yeah, many people were like, "Oh, Zelensky should apologize," and he still hasn't apologized. But I think he went on Fox News and he said he's sorry about whatever happened, because he said this is not an interaction between just two people or two presidents. It's also between the Ukrainian people and the American people. So yeah, at least he said that. But yeah, it's pretty crazy what is happening. The world needs to be more stable. Okay, these kind of arguments are not great for that, but these are great in terms of transparency, right? Because if you look at the comment section on YouTube, where this long video of 40, 54 minutes, 11 minutes and all, whatever section you see, everyone's like, boss, I'm so happy I can see this. I've never seen this. People are like, I'll cancel my Netflix. I just want to see this. When is season 2 coming out, episode 2 coming out? So all those funny comments, but people are taken aback that they have never seen anything like this before. I also have never seen anything like this before, right? It's pretty crazy, Both sides have like some good points, frankly speaking, but this would have been better if it had happened behind closed doors, because I don't know much about negotiations, but if this is how negotiations are supposed to happen, yeah, they don't really look good. This is not how things should be looking, right? And Donald Trump even said that because of us, you have been able to survive for so long, with the war and so on and so forth. And Zelensky said, yeah, everyone said that, but look at us, we are still here and this and that. It was an argument. It didn't feel good. You feel, and this has been happening, since COVID, I would say, where you look at the leadership and you feel you expect more and you don't get enough, right? And you're like, oh, okay, we thought this is how things were to be done. But I think now this is the age of transparency and this is what it is. And yeah, that was like, I feel, those were my thoughts. That was Polke Bol. I'm just hoping for peace. As I said, that is the best option possible. Lots of innocent people have been caught in the crossfire, which is unfortunate. Any comments? Just waiting. Folks, if you have just joined, like, comment, subscribe. That really helps the channel. Thank you so much. We have crossed 1100 subscribers. So thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And my aim is to reach 10,000 subscribers, and then we can really expand the format of Polke Bowl, right? Like I have some things in mind, but they make more sense when we reach kind of 10,000. So yeah, that is what it is. Let me know. I'll wait for 30 seconds if there's anything you guys want to talk about. I'm here. Oh, and by the way, if someone thinks like this was all planned and all of that, and it went completely according to plan, I don't think that is what happened. Because if you see, there was this one external affairs minister, someone from the Ukrainian delegation, and there's a photo of her doing this. Like she's basically like, oh my God, what is happening? Right? She's done that. So clearly things didn't go according to plan. So yeah, they definitely didn't go according to the prep that was made. Let's be frank, right? Those reactions were very human reactions. They were normal reactions that happened. So that is what it is, right? Yeah. So what else? Divided reaction. Some people feel Trump and JD Vance haven't come off well, and some people are like, "Hey, Zelensky's definitely made a mess of this." I personally feel the whole situation is a mess. Shouldn't have happened in front of the cameras, as I said. It's very unfortunate, but yeah, uh, world politics is changing. The last 2 weeks have changed the way the world works, right? So it is what it is. I'm just waiting for the memes from this conversation. Honestly, that is exactly what we want to see. Rohini is like, I don't think Trump is a good leader. He is very transactional and short-term views. Rohini, I would like to disagree with you in the sense that yes, he is transactional. He's been very upfront about it, but shouldn't every country be transactional in that sense? It's his responsibility to look out for his people. It is our leaders' responsibility for look out for us. Everyone is supposed to, represent their people, fight for their people. He's doing just that for his own people, right? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. His means maybe a little brash, but as long as he's achieving the strategic objectives of his country, it is what it is. This is nothing new, whatever he's saying, right? Many US presidents have spoken about Europe increasing NATO and defense spending, which hasn't happened for the last 10, 15 years. And now, suddenly, in 10, 15 days, they are getting that message. So, this is nothing but a continuation of, traditional US policy, frankly. And okay, the way it is happening is a little out there, but it is nothing out of the ordinary, is all I'm saying. This is not Trump doing things. I mean, he is executing them, but the policy has been pretty consistent. What else? The memes are coming in. Not all of them are funny, but it is what it is. Yeah, pretty unfortunate. Anyway, I just hope once again peace is achieved. But this is what I thought of the whole Trump Zelensky debate. That heated argument they had. Honestly, um, shouldn't have happened, but it's pretty crazy that this is out in the open. And yeah, let's see what this means. Peace is not going to come soon. Unfortunately, it's going to take at least a few months. But because of this, frankly, this is literally pushed peace negotiations ahead, right? Which is unfortunate. Let's see how this works out. Thank you so much, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. See ya.